Okay. Okay, let's just give the participant a few more minutes before we start. Oh, Chilimbush is there too. Great. Okay, I think in order to optimize the time, I think we'll start now. So, Simone and Peter, you just continue to admit people as they come. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christian Kinkombe. I'm the managing partner of 4IP Group. And welcome to the 8th event of our Impact Investor Circle Geneva SUC series, which was launched in November last year under the theme Improving Access to Capital for SMEs in Africa in general, with a specific focus on Zambia. As you know, Zambia is aspiring to become a regional impact investment hub through the work done by the National Advisory Board for Impact Investing in Zambia, with the financial support from Prospero Zambia and technical advisory support from the Global Steering Group for Impact Investing. We are trying to capture that trend in our forthcoming Zambia Impact Investor Market Sizing Study, drafted by members of the 4IP Group, which I believe will be presented and released next month. This live session is being recorded and will be uploaded on both the 4IP and the Swiss Impact Investing Association YouTube channels before the end of this week, and shared with all prospective or actual impact investors investing in Zambia or in Congo DRC to obtain your support to the world's largest program for supporting entrepreneurs in more than 20 developing and emerging markets, including Zambia, and through Zambia, entrepreneurs from the Democratic Republic of the Congo to scale their solutions for the Sustainable Development Goals, thereby contributing to a shift towards a more sustainable economy. Today, we thank all of you who are attending this event in real time, and those of you who afterwards will be listening to the video, for your indispensable support to the Zambian and the Congolese entrepreneurs coming through this national scale ready and the subsequent global scaling program. Let me quickly present the house rules. Please turn off your microphones whenever you are not speaking throughout the entire event, in order not to disturb the listeners and the speakers. And during the Q&A session, remember to introduce yourself and your affiliation, and keep the questions short. Please do feel free to use the chat box to raise questions, which and those questions that we're not able to answer during the Q&A, we'll get back to you in writing if you share with us your contact details. Okay, so this is the agenda today, which basically introduces Accelerate 2030 global program, as well as the Zambia program, to both registered and prospective participants from Zambia and the DRC, as well as prospective suppliers of impact capital, which we hope will allocate to the most innovative startups and early stage companies in Zambia and the DRC tackling sustainable development goals, which in turn will support them to scale their impact nationally, regionally, and globally. The agenda is therefore structured as follows. After this short introduction, the president of the Swiss Impact Investing Association, Mr. Ben Banerjee, will say a few words about how SIA can lend support to the global scaling part of Accelerate 2030 program aimed at those impact enterprises with the highest international scaling potential. After this introduction, the first part of the core program, Mrs. Alexandra Santu Boetus will introduce both the Impact Hub Geneva, Lausanne, as well as Accelerate 2030 Global Program. This will then be followed by the second part, whereby Mrs. Siakoma will briefly present the Impact Hub Lusaka in Zambia. Then Mr. Richard Mukunji will present Kinshasa Innovation Center and its collaboration with Impact Hub Lusaka. And finally, Mr. Julius Luaya will present the forthcoming Accelerator 2030 program, as this will be implemented in Zambia in the coming 2 to 3 months. There will then be an opportunity for Q&A with the attendees, and the event will end with a few concluding remarks regarding the next steps for the participants and investors, as well as the next Impact Investor Circle event by my two colleagues, Peter and Simone. Okay, move to slide. Okay, so without much further ado, Ben, I hand over the word to you. Over to you.
Thank you, Christian. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's a little bit of echo, but we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay. No, thank you so very much for inviting me. So for those who don't know me, I'm Ben from the Swiss Impact Investment Association. I have been active in this sector more than 20 years. And I'm also in the board of CLC. That's a Climate Leadership Coalition, which is Europe's largest business network, which is busy with implementing SDGs in their business processes. And we are also one of the main content provider for the Green Deal of European EU Commission. Next to that, I'm in board of a lot of other organizations and have been involved with Africa since a very long time because it is an emerging market and for the impact angle. I have been setting up companies all around Europe since quite a long time and have coached and supported companies, especially in Africa and Asia, and not only with implementing SDGs, but also with funding them. So we have funding them. We have our own funds, we have funded them, or we have arranged funding for them from the vast resources which is at this moment available on this topic. Added to that, we also have our own TV channel. For those who don't know, it is a Swiss Impact with Banerjees. It's every week. And we're the heads of many business organizations, financial institutions and countries. For example, the president of Mauritius has been there, also talking exactly about this topic, that is how to implement and carry out sustainable agriculture in Africa, sustainable projects, which we have been funding and which we have been active with very long sector. We started SIA, that's the Swiss Impact Investment Association, more than 6 years ago. It has two primary functions. One is to increase the awareness of impact investment in the Swiss financial sector. And I think we have done quite a good job because we are a global brand. We are quoted from Australia to America. We are quoted everywhere. And secondly, we are a kind of platform where investors, project owners, and service providers meet. For this, we use the technology Chamomile. I think many of you may be knowing it or may be active in it. It's a platform where members, most of or nearly all of our members can use it for their own benefit. So this is basically the background of SIA, and our main focus is to implement the SDGs all around the world. And for that, we are focusing very strongly on SMEs and startups and supporting them with all the aspects of their business. So I think that's a very short introduction for the moment. If you are interested for any information, something, you can always find us on the website. It is siia.ch. And if you have any questions, because I have to run soon and I'll be available on the phone, but in case if I'm not, Christian is also on our advisory board, and I'm very, very certain he can answer all your questions much better than I can, but I'll try to be there to answer all your questions. So thank you so very much, Christian. So I'll give it back to you.
Thank you so much, Ben. I really appreciate that you're taking time off to support this event. And let's move on to the next part. Voila, so that it will be a presentation of the Impact Hub network, as well as the Global Accelerator 2030 program. And in order to do that presentation, we are very fortunate to have the co-founder of the Impact Hub Geneva and Lausanne, Mrs. Alexandra Santu-Boetus. So over to you, Alexandra.
I'll unmute myself. Can you all hear me?
We can hear you very well. Thank you.
Brilliant. Hi. So I wanted to share some of my slides. We can. Have you integrated them here, or do I share my screen?
Peter, can you give Alexandra administrator rights so she can?
Yeah, I can share my screen as well. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, I'm doing it. So.
Yeah.
Voila. You can share your screen now, Alexandra.
Okay, great. So I'd be curious just to know who of you knows about the Impact Hub that's here in the call. So I have a little heads up on. So if you can put in the chat a yes or no, or I know about the hub, then I get a little understanding of what I should introduce. Has any one of you been in an Impact Hub before? Either in Lusaka or anywhere else in the world? I'd be curious to know. So please feel to put in the chat. Okay, no, so the hub is completely new. Okay. Okay, some newcomers. So I'll give you a so I'll give you a little introduction. So I'm the co-founder of the Impact Hub in Geneva, based in Switzerland. However, we have Impact Hubs across 100 cities across the world. And that's what the unique part is of our network, that we are hosting entrepreneurial communities across the world that are locally rooted in our respective cities. However, as a network, we're connected together as the Impact Hub network, and we're doing a lot of joint activities and working together for impact at scale. And here in Geneva, we started the hub already some 7 years ago. And every time a hub is joining the Impact Hub network, we're being asked.
Sorry, Alexandra, are you sharing your screen with us because we can't see your slides?
Yes, I can share my screen.
Okay.
Great.
Sorry.
So yeah, every time, do you see it properly now? Okay, I hope this is okay, the view. So every time a hub joins the network, they're being asked, like, what is unique about your city, your entrepreneurs, your community locally? And for us here in Geneva, what's really special with our ecosystem here is that we are a very small city, but I have a huge diverse ecosystem with impact investors, a really strong finance community, corporates. And as many of you know, we have a numerous United Nations agencies and international organizations, all within a very small radius. And so when we started the Impact Hub here to support entrepreneurs that are working towards having a social and ecological impact, we always thought that we have a really unique role to play to connect this diverse ecosystem, and particularly also the UN players, with the rest of the entrepreneurs within the Impact Hub network, and particularly with Impact Hubs and entrepreneurs in the so-called Global South. And so when the UN SDGs were adopted in 2015, we partnered up with UNDP and decided to launch Accelerate2030, where we have as a focus. And now I'm going to see that, make sure that you can see the screen, where we have as a focus together with our impact hubs across Africa, Asia, Latin America, and Eastern Europe, to identify some of the most high impact entrepreneurs that have innovative, scalable solutions for the Sustainable Development Goals, and support these entrepreneurs to scale their impact within their communities, regionally, but also internationally. So since we launched the program, we have now been involved, implemented the program in over 20, well, actually, it's closer to 30 countries across the world. And we have over 100 partners in the different locations, and including also in Switzerland and globally, that are joining forces on this big mission on making sure that we can drive innovation by local entrepreneurs towards the SDGs. Shortly about our program. So we have to date supported over 200 entrepreneurs across the globe. And here are some of the numbers from the global cohort from last year. And we were really surprised and positive to see that even during a period last year, during the COVID crisis, that our entrepreneurs were actually doing really well. And yeah, some of our numbers is that through joining the Accelerate 2030 program, the entrepreneurs have increased their beneficiaries with almost 200%, scaled to over 16 new markets. This is from a selected number of global cohorts, and raised a significant amount of funding to scale their impact. I'll share a little bit about how the program looks like and how it actually is taking place. So now this year we're launching Accelerate 2030 in 21 countries across the world. Here you see, and you can see the ones, also the ones that are in Africa. We have Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Rwanda, Tanzania, Sudan, and of course, Zambia. In each, and how does this program work? So how it looks like that in each location, we're running a so-called scale ready program. So in each location, we are identifying, scouting for the most promising entrepreneurs with solutions towards the SDGs, and running a local national scale ready program. So eventually what I was talking about, that Accelerate 2030 is a scaling program. Our intention is to support ventures to scale their impact. But what we have noticed is that what's very, very important on the scaling journey, and maybe less sexy, so to say, everyone's talking about scaling, but we also talk about scale readiness. We have in the national phase, the core focus of the program is to make sure that the ventures know what does it mean to scale. What is a scaling journey? Because embarking on a scaling journey is a very different journey from being active in your local community. It's a different type of mindset and thinking, and it's a whole different way of thinking. How can we have impact at scale? So at each local location, in the countries that I mentioned before, we are running a 4 to 6 month local program, and I will tell you in a bit what the content of the program is. And from all these 20 countries, and then the entrepreneurs that are taking place in the local in the national scale ready programs, we are selecting a global cohort of some of the most promising entrepreneurs throughout the participating countries that will join the so-called global phase. And these are ventures that have, at the global phase, that really have scalable solutions that have potential really to go international. And this whole phase will be kicked off actually in November at the Building Bridges Week, where many of the investors will know of. We are going to invite some 10 to 15 companies to Geneva in November to connect with investors, with the UN, with the different strategic stakeholders that we have here in the Geneva ecosystem. And then they will be supported alongside a 6 month journey with mentors and experts on their journey to scale. So in short, our purpose is to say how we can enable entrepreneurs on their journey. And we build a program that has various different pillars that we are working with the entrepreneurs on. So core to, and a core element of the actual support program, and this is often something that is maybe forgotten when it comes to acceleration and scaling programs, is the leadership and resilience part. We are inviting all the entrepreneurs to really also, like, we're giving them space to reconsider what is the impact that they want to have, and how can they build up their company and their scaling journey in a way that is sustainable for them as entrepreneurs, but for their team and overall. And this is really core, because for those of you who know a little bit about the startup world, it is also a world that is, we see a lot of burnouts, people still struggling on the journey, and giving actually the space to embark on, having chance to think of what does, how do I build up my scaling journey that is sustainable for me, my life, my family, the people I want to have, is kind of core. Like we put the human at the center, so to say. Another element where we are supporting the entrepreneurs is on their different scaling strategies. So there are a number of ways to go to scale. That can be to grow your business, but there can also be licensing models, franchising models, partnership collaboration models. And this is a really important part to be exploring. How can we actually reach a higher impact on the SDGs? And sometimes it's not the traditional model, but we actually invite the entrepreneurs to rethink different type of scaling strategies and learn from other entrepreneurs as well of what are ways to scale. Another core part is of the program is impact measurement on the Sustainable Development Goals. We put this as a key requirement. We need to be able to measure our impact on the SDGs. So we support the entrepreneurs to come up with the key metrics and how to measure the key metrics on the SDGs, and also how to report and communicate on them. And then, of course, and which is very relevant for us to hear today, is access to finance or access to resources to go to scale. Now, of course, we're talking about access to investments, but there may be also alternative access to financing as well. But this is a key pillar of the program. And last but not least is that we believe with the Impact Hub network that impact is best done in collaboration. It's really through networking, partnership, having access to, as we mentioned before, UN entities, corporates, and others that can help us to bring to scale. This is a kind of a core element throughout the program. So we connect the entrepreneurs to key strategic partners, sector experts, and others that can help them on their journey to scale. Just in short, this is what the program looks like at the local level, and that I mentioned before. The global program will be kicked off in November with the Scaling Week in Geneva. And then the companies will be, so in this part of the program, they have worked towards, they have already coming to Geneva with a clear scaling roadmap. That's what they work at the national level. Where do we what is the scaling roadmap? What are the key objectives? And in the global program, we'll be working and connecting the entrepreneurs with mentors and experts. We work, for example, with the Boston Consulting Group. So each entrepreneur will be connected to a synergy team of experts to help them implement their journey to scale. And throughout the period, we're connecting the entrepreneurs with key stakeholders on their journey. And what we're also doing, and now actually developing more and more, are market entry trips. And this we think would be also very, very interesting to explore in this region. So these are trips for entrepreneurs from different sectors to come and explore the market in another country. And this is specifically south to south market entry trips. So for example, Latin American companies or other companies that would be interested in coming to Africa and explore the markets, or regionally. For example, I'll give you an example. If we would like to organize a trip at the regional level for entrepreneurs in the other African countries to come to Zambia, that's an opportunity to look at what is the market opportunities, market in the sense of having an impact on the SDGs in the different regions, and offering ventures soft landing support in the targeted regions. So that's in short about the program. And then I think yeah, it's then interesting to see and hear what's exactly is happening in Zambia, because in each location we've learned that we cannot generalize. Being in over 20 countries of the world, the program will look very different in different locations based on what the what the specific ecosystem looks like, what are the networks, what are the needs. So I'll be curious to also in this session learn more about the Zambian ecosystem and what we can do at a global level to really make sure that the Zambian entrepreneurs are coming strong throughout Accelerate2030. So open for any questions, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Santu. I'm just going to take back the control of the screen so we can move on with the program.
I'll help here to press stop.
Voila, that's perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so we are now actually coming to the second part to see how this global program actually will be implemented in a specific country, which is Zambia. I would just want to add that for AP Group, we are very proud and happy to be domiciled not only in the Impact Hub Geneva, but our Zambian affiliate, the Impactpreneur Africa Limited, is also domiciled in the Impact Hub Lusaka. So we have a foot in both camps. So let's start. So first we'll have an introduction to a presentation of the Impact Hub Lusaka. So Julius, I think I don't know if your colleague she's there with us, or whether you would do the presentation.
She's not able to make the presentation. There's someone in her family who has COVID, so she's running up and down. So I will be making the presentation on her behalf.
Okay, thank you. Over to you, Julius.
All right. Can I share the screen? Okay.
You want to share the screen? A second. Where are you? You are. That's Julius. There's so many. Okay. Okay, you can share your screen now, Julius. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, it's perfect.
All right, thank you. Maybe just an introduction. So I'm making this presentation on behalf of Mrs. Eunice Siakachoma, who is our General Manager at Impact Hub Lusaka. And I'm one of the co-founders of Impact Hub Lusaka. I'm currently working as the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Manager. And previously, I held the position of General Manager. So basically, I was the interim General Manager. And yes, we are part of Impact Hub Global Network, a brand which has presence in 100+ cities, stretching to 5 continents. And in Africa, we are somewhere around 11, 12, somewhere there. And we started this journey to create Impact Hub Lusaka as a response to create a platform. We intended to create a platform where young people would access learning opportunities. But instead of focusing on one, we said, let us stretch it to many things beyond leadership. So that's how Impact Hub came about, and we officially opened our doors in 2019, and we are located in Jesmondin for those who are in Lusaka. So as Impact Hub Lusaka, this is our mission, which is to help transform entrepreneurial education and social innovation so that learners can acquire the practical skills needed to evolve, to solve critical societal challenges. So this is what we intend to do. And our vision is to contribute to a happy and sustainable Lusaka by building a community of entrepreneurs and social innovators. And this is also true when you look at the global impact hub brand, that's what it aims to create, a community of entrepreneurs and social innovators. So what inspired us is the identification of these following problems. One was, at the time, there are still a few spaces that offer co-working space. And we thought we should create this as a solution to the challenges. And the other is the quality of education. We realized that young people or people after undergoing formal education, they still needed to be retrained, which is more expenses on the part of the employers. So as Impact Hub, we came up, or we position ourselves as an alternative offered in mainstream or conventional learning institutions. And also what inspired us was the realization of the high unemployment in the country. We thought Impact Hub can be a container that can train people and create opportunities for people that may lead to employment. So these are our solutions. So part of our solutions, one is through programs and capacity building, for which we do focus on business development services, organizational development, and social innovation. And for this, we've so far managed, under consultants, we've so far managed to work with the financial sector, starting from Bank of Zambia, Stanbic Bank, EcoBank. So we are getting there, and we've also worked with the NGO sector, institutions such as International Transparency International Zambia. We've worked with them. So we are getting there, and we are setting our foot in ensuring that we contribute to creating a community of change makers. And we are also we also offer what we call physical and virtual infrastructure. Virtual, here we are in a virtual space, and also physical. We have a hub. It is located in Jesmondin, which is deep in the central part of Lusaka. So we do have a co-working space, and we have a community of entrepreneurs and social innovators who are working in our space. And apart from that, we also do provide entrepreneur support, which a typical example in this case would be Accelerate2030, which is running. And we'll also be launching another one called Climate Launchpad, which is an incubation program for those doing entrepreneurial activities in the climate change space. The other is we just create a platform where we host a lot of events, be it financial literacy, mental health, several opportunities. And this is how we intend to create our, or this is our theory of change in short, how we intend to create our impact. So we do have incubation where we focus on those starting, and then we level up by going to startup support where we focus on need-based support. And then after that, we focus on acceleration services. Right now, I already mentioned Accelerate2030. Apart from that, we have another one which is abbreviated as Enrich. And then apart from that, we also have another one where we are supporting entrepreneurs across Africa. It's called, it's been sponsored by BMW Foundation. It's called Survive to Thrive. So it came about as a response to COVID. And then the other is just to position ourselves as an institution creating linkages to entrepreneurs and startups that want opportunities. And we do this for our members and those who are in our network. So that's the ecosystem development approach that we have as Impact Hub Lusaka. So I would like to mention that we are not an NGO, and this is the question that we get. So that's why I put this slide, which is about our business model. So we are a business, and this is how we make our money. So we have 3 revenue streams. We have incubation and acceleration, we have co-working space, and then we have consultants and events. So these are the main streams that we have for revenue. I just thought I should mention that. And then the opportunity. Today, if 2 more impact hubs or hubs were to open in Lusaka, we will still coexist with one another without causing so much friction, because this is a sector which is still developing, and there's still space for other players to come on board. And a casual conversation and research has indicated that the opportunities or the people who are interested in the line of work that we do stand at average of 100,000 people. And so far we can barely even scratch that, because as Impact Hub Lusaka, we've only managed to have an annual average of 1,000 people attending our events and everything. So we feel there's so much potential for us to grow and for other partners to come on board. And these are some of the things that inspired us to be where we are, or to start Impact Hub and see this as an opportunity. We're talking about a huge chunk of people being in the informal sector, youth unemployment, and also just unemployment in general. And also looking at the ecosystem, only having 5 hubs for a district that has millions of people. So that means that there's so much space for other hubs to be in a space. And what you are seeing, these are the other players in our ecosystem. They are our partners, and at the same time, they are our competitors, because we do compete for similar opportunities. And then we have Nyamuka Africa. This is what our roadmap looks like. So in the next 3 months, we have a YouTube channel. It is already running. We have Accelerate, it's already running. And then we have Enrich, which is a program we're doing in collaboration with European Commission, also European Union. It will be launching anytime soon, and the Climate Launchpad, which I just mentioned. And then the next 6 months, these are the programs that we intend to close, which is the BMW Foundation sponsored program. It will be closing. And then we intend to launch a podcast, and then we'll be, in September, we are launching a financial education program. It is a 3 years project. I can't mention the partner because we have not concluded, we've not signed the contract yet. And we intend to just increase our membership and also work on our space so that we can accommodate more entrepreneurs. And this is our team. I couldn't fit all the pictures, but this is what our team looks like. There's Martin, Aggie, myself, Chisha, Eunice, Chisala, Splendor, and Grace. So this is what our team look like. And yeah, so we are located in Jesmondin. For those who want to come through, you can come through to our space, or you can contact us on social media platforms. We are on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, and Facebook as well. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to answer questions if there are any.
Yeah, we'll have the Q&A at the end of your last presentation. So a lot of people think I've been in Zambia, working in Zambia since 2003. And a lot of people actually think that I'm from Zambia, but it so happened that my father's from Congo DRC. So it's therefore with great pleasure that I introduce you my compatriot, Mr. Richard Mutukungi. So Richard, do you need to share any slides? So I made you co-host, so you can share your screen now if you have any slides. Over to you, Richard.
Okay, thank okay. Hi, Christian.
Oui, allez-y, c'est à vous, 10 minutes.
C'est bon le...
Non, on ne voit pas l'écran.
Oh, comment je dois faire maintenant? Church. Écran partagé, je vais tout ça. Admettre. C'est bon?
No, not yet.
Alors, je suis dans participant, écran partagé, oui.
I don't know, Julius, I guess you logged out, right? If Julius is logged out, then you should be. Voilà, ça commence, Richard.
C'est bon?
Allez-y, oui, allez-y, c'est bon.
Ok. Bon. Hello, everyone. First, I just present you my team, KIC team. And after the presentation, I will continue in French for all people, all entrepreneurs in GRC. We follow this webinar. Okay. That is the KIC coordination team. We have Professor Crispin Moulage, who is focal point of partnership in Geneva University and Kinshasa University. And we have Dr. Gauthier Kalonji, is a training manager. And Mr. Sacre Mbumina is a mentoring manager. And Giselle Van Miller, communication manager. This presentation, I have three main parts. The first, I will talk about KIC in 6 points. First, who are we? Second, KIC goals, what we do, support provides, methodological approach, and the training model. And secondly, I will tell you about activity in 2020, the project in 2020 edition, the main result of the 2020 edition. Thirdly, I will tell you about the planning activities in 2021 edition in 2 points. The first is objectives identified for the second edition of KIC and the 2021 calendar of activities. After this brief introduction, I will develop the rest of my presentation in French. Qui sommes-nous? Kinshasa Innovation Center est une initiative de la Chambre de commerce Suisse RDC en partenariat avec les universités de Genève et de Kinshasa. Il a pour but de promouvoir le jeune entrepreneur congolais en les accompagnant avec des outils utiles et indispensables à la création d'entreprises. Kinshasa Innovation Center a 5 objectifs. Le premier, c'est de favoriser la culture entrepreneuriale en milieu universitaire de la RDC, créer des synergies de compétences et des opportunités de rencontres au bénéfice de l'économie congolaise, promouvoir l'innovation en République démocratique du Congo, et permettre l'identification, l'incubation et la maturation des idées innovantes. Enfin, favoriser le transfert de l'expertise entre l'Université de Genève et les institutions académiques congolaises. Qu'est-ce que nous réalisons? Nous réalisons la promotion de l'innovation, de la créativité et la culture entrepreneuriale en milieu universitaire. Nous assurons aussi, en ce qui concerne l'incubation, l'identification et surtout l'incubation et la maturation des idées innovantes pour la création d'entreprises. Les KIC assurent aussi les coachings avec la mise en place d'un réseau d'experts et des coachs expérimentés pour l'accompagnement de jeunes entrepreneurs. Les KIC fournit les coachings de jeunes entrepreneurs et le support technique à la création d'entreprises et un espace de travail. La méthodologie, l'approche méthodologique du KIC, et on passe par l'appel des projets pour l'incubation. Et ces projets, on se focalise sur les diplômés d'université, au moins graduat, master ou doctorat. Et puis, on fait appel aux jeunes primo-entrepreneurs. Aussi, notre approche, c'est de faire une synergie tripartite, c'est-à-dire le secteur privé, les promoteurs des projets entrepreneuriaux et les investisseurs et les donateurs. Nous, en tant que programme, nous favorisons la promotion de l'entrepreneuriat en partenariat avec les institutions publiques en offrant des connaissances pratiques, les coachings individualisés, la formation pratique des terrains dans les incubateurs. Comme module de formation, le KIC a mis en place 3 groupes de sessions. La première session, on fait l'acquisition des compétences entrepreneuriales. On a des cours liés ou des séminaires sur le business plan et puis la création d'entreprises au Congo. On parle de la propriété intellectuelle, l'innovation et puis la recherche sur le plan des finances et le management et aussi l'étude de marché. Le deuxième module concerne les exigences pour entreprendre. On parle de processus d'élaboration d'un projet entrepreneurial et aussi le leader, comment on peut dire, quelques actions pour permettre à ce que l'entrepreneur puisse développer les capacités de leadership. Et aussi, on va parler de réalité fiscale pour les entrepreneurs qui débutent. En dernier lieu, nous avons la pratique entrepreneuriale, c'est-à-dire des sessions pour le marketing digital et l'usage des réseaux sociaux, les pitchs d'un projet entrepreneurial et puis un laboratoire pour permettre à chacun d'élaborer un business plan et aussi avoir les capacités de tester son produit sur le marché. Pour l'édition 2020, nous avons reçu 35 projets et nous avons sélectionné 16 projets et 3 projets ont été primés. Les 16 projets concernent pratiquement ce qu'on avait eu, quelques objectifs de développement de l'agenda 2030, notamment l'objectif 1, pas de pauvreté, l'objectif 2, zéro faim, l'objectif 3 lié à la santé et l'objectif 4 sur l'éducation, l'objectif 5 sur l'égalité et le 9 sur l'innovation et l'objectif 7 sur 7 et 8, énergie et économie. Donc, selon les projets des promoteurs, on a pu classer ces projets en fonction des objectifs de développement durable. Quelques principaux résultats de l'édition 2020. Nous avons eu un impact social dans les réseaux sociaux, notamment sur Twitter, sur Facebook, sur WhatsApp, sur LinkedIn. Et les 3 projets gagnants que nous avons primés de l'édition 2020, tous les 3 projets, on les a aidés à créer les entreprises en les accompagnant pour la création d'entreprises avec les soutiens de KIC. Donc, le premier projet qui s'intitule Ecolab, c'est un projet qui a mis en place une application à la disposition des élèves, des enseignants et parents, du contenu pédagogique. Donc, le projet, c'est une application qui permet aux parents d'avoir des résumés de certains ouvrages, des exercices, des items et des cours en vidéo et pour les élèves. Ces projets, donc, sont promoteurs, il les classe, il est même parmi ceux qui ont joint le programme Accelerate 2021 avec nos amis de Lusaka. Ces projets se classent dans les ONG 4, 5 et 9 parce que c'est l'éducation, aussi l'égalité pour les jeunes filles de pouvoir utiliser les technologies d'information et aussi il aborde l'aspect de l'innovation. Le deuxième projet qui était primé pour l'édition 2020, c'était le projet qui a mis en place la création d'un service de vérification des documents officiels et d'un registre national pour chaque catégorie de documents. C'est un projet qui est lié plus à l'innovation qu'on a classé dans l'ODD 9. Et le dernier projet, c'est la rue du bonheur. C'est dans cette tiercée, il y a 2 hommes et une femme. Donc, la dame qui a fait le projet La rue du bonheur, qui est aussi parmi les participantes qui concourent à l'édition Accelerate de 2021. Et son projet, c'est la valorisation des fruits et la mise en place d'une usine de production de vin à partir des produits locaux. Il touche un peu les ODD 1, 2 et 12, c'est-à-dire la lutte contre la faim, contre la pauvreté et aussi la production responsable. Alors, pour l'édition 2021, le KIC a identifié quelques objectifs, notamment appuyer la création d'un incubateur dédié. Est-ce qu'il est là? Oui.
Okay, one minute left, Richard, minute.
Je termine. La création d'un incubateur dédié au secteur agroalimentaire à l'Université de Kinshasa et la participation au programme Accelerate 2030. Et puis soutenir la création d'un fonds de garantie pour les projets sélectionnés au KIC et conclure un partenariat institutionnel avec l'Office des petites et promotions entreprises et étendre nos activités dans les villes universitaires comme Lubumbashi. Les calendriers pour 2021, nous avons déjà commencé la préparation. On est dans l'appel à projet qui va se poursuivre les mois prochains et les mois d'août. Et les formations proprement dites commencent au mois d'août et septembre et avec des ateliers, éventuellement finir ces programmes au mois de décembre. Voilà, le KIC est planté physiquement à l'Université de Kinshasa, à la faculté des sciences. Donc, nous avons un site web par les canaux de la Chambre de commerce et tous les contacts possibles pour pouvoir nous joindre. J'ai voulu associer un des lauréats, mais je pense qu'avec le temps, ça ne sera pas possible. Merci, Christian, pour ce partage.
Thank you very much, Richard. As you can see, we are very privileged, very happy to see that while the accelerator program in Zambia is also reaching out to entrepreneurs who have participated in the previous stage, which is the incubation stage last year in the Kinshasa Innovation Center. And some of the best entrepreneurs coming through that incubation program will also be participating in the Accelerator 2030 program in Lusaka, which Julius will now take you through. So Julius, over to you, 10 minutes. So we have enough time for Q&A afterwards.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me just share my screen again. Okay, permission, please.
Yeah, you can share your screen, Julius.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. What I'm going to say, it is some of the things you've heard them from Santu, because he was talking about Accelerate 2030 at global level, and I'm going to focus on the national level because we're one of the 26 plus countries that are participating in the program. And what is also important to mention at this stage is that as Impact Hub Lusaka, this is the first time we're bringing Accelerate 2030 to Zambia. And we are actually proud of that because we are we've managed to create a platform where local entrepreneurs can learn together with other entrepreneurs in the region covering 26 plus countries. So Accelerate 2030. So for starters, Accelerate 2030 is the largest platform that focuses on working and supporting businesses that anchored on implementing SDGs or whose businesses are implementing SDGs. As you can see on the screen. So the SDGs doesn't matter. Even in our case here, we are inviting, or we have invited ventures that are focusing on any of the SDGs to participate in the program. So applied, you'll be hearing from us later sometime this week, and we have also some participants participating from Congo. So as Impact Hub Lusaka running Accelerate 2030, we have participants coming from 2 countries, which is somehow a unique arrangement because there isn't yet an Impact Hub in Congo, in DRC Congo. So we did offer, or through 5P Group, who are our partners on this project, we did agree that we should have some entrepreneurs from Congo join us and learn together with the entrepreneurs in Zambia. So as already indicated, this is a program that is running in 26 countries, as you can see on the map, and we among those countries, and Africa is getting there, as you can see from the countries that have been represented. And the timeline for this program. So this program, the general timeline for this program is 2020 to 2022. So I'll talk much about 2021, where we are. So we are at a stage where we have finished selecting, or we've allowed people to apply for the program, and we have at least the target that we wanted of ventures who be participating in this program. And in the next few days, we are going to start our series of workshops with the participants who have signed up for this program, and which is under the scale ready phase, which the scale ready phase of the program. And in this program, we're going to focus mainly on the following topics. One is leadership and well-being, and then we're going to focus also on scaling impact, and then access to finance, and also impact measurement. How do the ventures or the startups are going to ensure that the participants also receive expert support in form of mentorship on some of the need to be assisted with. So a team of mentors who are going to come on this program will be there to assist the participants on this program, because at the end of the day, this is also a competition for the participants, because during the mentorship sessions,
we'll be preparing them for what we are calling a demo day. So on the demo day, we're going to have these entrepreneurs pitch their businesses or their solutions. And then we're going to shortlist the top best 5. And these 5, we're going to, and on this one, I have to be very clear. So the top 5, as Impact Hub Lusaka, we can only recommend that you participate in the global. And then global will get those participants countries. So when we shortlist you, that does not automatically mean that you're going to be shortlisted at the global level. So that is something which we have to be very clear. It is not a guarantee, but you do stand a chance to compete with others at a regional level in all the countries that are participating. So I just thought that should be clear so that there are no misunderstanding. So after the national scale ready phase, which ends in September, and then we are going to recommend the top 5 to the global team, Accelerate2030 global team, who are then going to prepare you to participate in the next phase, which will be taking place early next year. So that is pretty much about this program. So we are focusing on startups that have potential for scalability. They have reached the growth stage. They've at least been operating for minimum a year, and they are made up of a team that is motivated, and the team is just skillful enough, and they have that potential we are looking for. And also the venture should be anchored or should be focused on implementing the SDGs in order to qualify for the program. So those are some of the key things to know when as you plan to participate in this program. Know we have those who have already applied for this program, and will be communicating to you in the next few days. So those are some of the key things that you need to know about Accelerate2030 4th edition running in Zambia together with the other countries that are participating. So this on top on the screen, that's the team from Zambia implementing this at local level, and down, I know you just saw Santu. So Santu and Yuka and Emi, they are running this program at global level. They are the ones that are assisting us to ensure that everything goes smoothly in the 26 plus countries that are participating. I will end here and wait for the questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julius. Very, very exciting times for entrepreneurs in Zambia. We had around 70 people who registered through the LinkedIn, and I know that I think you said, Julius, around 40 entrepreneurs is participating in the program in Zambia. So we only have 10 minutes for Q&A. So as I said in my introduction remark, for those of you who will not have time to have your questions heard at this session, please feel free to send your questions in writing, and we will transmit them either to Julius or to Santos in Geneva. Any questions? Okay, while people are thinking, let me start by maybe raising one question from my side. Could you elaborate a little bit more, Julius, about what are, I mean, you did say that, but maybe further elaboration on what are the key selection criteria? You talk about leadership, you're talking about the SDGs, it has to contribute to SDGs. When it comes to, for example, leadership, how can you break down the leadership dimension? What makes a good entrepreneur? As you know, most impact investors, they are the management team of the company that they are planning to invest in. That carries a very high weight. So could you break down a little bit the black box of what is what is a good leader, an entrepreneur?
Thank you, and that's a good question. I'll start by saying that leadership is something that is actually very important when you are talking about business. And in this context, when we say a motivated team and having some leadership qualities, one, the team should have people who are skilled in whichever field they're in. Let's say a startup is in they're in agriculture. We should have someone who is some sort of an expert in agriculture on the team. Apart from having someone who is an expert in agriculture, we should have someone who has experience or also an expert in business. So this could be someone who has experience in business administration or finance. So we should have, because these are very critical skills to have on a team as you are hoping to join this program. And it is also very essential for you as a startup to have these skills. And then the other thing is, I know I've mentioned finance. You need to have someone who understands numbers, because no matter how great your idea may sound, if you have no one who understands numbers on your team, and then you are doomed. So those are some of the things that we are looking for when we say leadership. And you should at least have some sort of traction in terms of having at least led something or as an advantage.
Okay, thank you, Julius. Any other questions from participants, attendees? Okay, well, I will use the prerogative of being the moderator to ask Santu a question.
There's a question in the chat.
Okay, Peter, can you just read that question aloud, because I can't see it? Peter or Simone, one of you, can you please read it?
All right, okay. So the question is actually from Shalene Muna, and it reads, the message reads, hello, thank you for a great presentation. Is this program only for startups or can established businesses that are looking for help due to impact of COVID take part, please?
Do I answer, or it's Yuka? Oh, sorry, Santu.
You can have it go at it, both of you. Maybe you can start, Julius, and then Santu can complement.
Okay. Okay. Well, actually, we are looking for the typical participants who are looking for actually are ventures which are already established, and they are looking for learning opportunities on how they can make their businesses better. And in this case, since you've mentioned COVID, how they can navigate through during these hard times of COVID. However, something which is important for us to mention is that what we are promising is the skills, because our program is designed to only offer the capacity in terms of managing it, measuring the impact, and also in certain instances, we may then recommend you to access certain opportunities in forms of finance, where maybe you may pitch to potential investors or people who are willing to support financially. But the program, it is typically designed to offer you the training capacity that you need as an entrepreneur. That is what it is designed to do. And anything to do with maybe giving you opportunities to access investors or finance, Christian may comment on that because they've come on board to assist us to navigate that route, because they are experts when it comes to helping startups to access finance or anything in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you, Julius. Maybe in the interest of time, unless Santu wants to add something to that question. Peter, are there any other further questions in the chat box, or anyone wants to ask another question? Okay, so let me, I have two questions, but in interest of time, let me start by the issue. I mean, I saw, I mean, maybe one of the reasons why people are participating, of course, they want to scale, and in order to scale, you need access to capital, ideally impact capital. So what we could see from Santu's presentation and also on the website, Accelerate2030, is that last year's cohort actually managed to raise more than $6 million US. I don't know if you can talk a little bit to that, Santu, in terms of what is actually the fundraising process and going through Geneva for those who, among all of the participants who get selected to the global part of the program. Could you talk a little bit about that, Santu? What? Yeah.
With the program, so at the national level, the key is that we're strengthening the capacity to, actually I'll turn it around. We in the beginning, when we started the program, the focus was on the global scaling program, and we brought in the first edition of the program, we brought 10 entrepreneurs over to Geneva and connected them with entrepreneurs, with investors and partners. And in our first two editions, we prototyped a little bit with companies that were more early stage, were like really growth at scaling stage, and came to the conclusion that actually there is some work to be done to be ready to be on the table to speak with investors already at the global stage, and particularly with Swiss-based investors. And through that, the program has developed in the sense that we have launched the national phase of the program that we presented previously, which is to make sure, like, there's a few reasons for it, but one big reason for it is that already at the national level, there can be a lot of support on becoming, so to say, investment ready. What are the different, what do you need to have in place as a team in your business plan, in your scaling plan, and to the investors, but actually being able to absorb that support and absorb investments in the first place. And also one reason why we developed the national program was the fact that we could scale. Instead of only supporting 10 entrepreneurs, we're able now to support hundreds of entrepreneurs because we're having the national part. So at the global level, we're selecting entrepreneurs that are ready to sit down at the table with investors, and we give them that support. And so they get coaching also from investors, coaching on their business plan, on their investment strategy, on how to pitch and present their projects. And here in Geneva, we're doing some matchmaking, so direct matchmaking with investors. We're not per se promising investments, but it's really like a matchmaking process, because eventually there are a lot of different factors that ties in for there to actually to be a match. But that's where we are accompanying the ventures to ensure that to increase those chances of finding the right type of capital and the right type of investors to scale.
You could also say to some extent, having entrepreneurs from Congo participating in Impact Hub Lusaka's accelerator program is a kind of a pilot, a testing of a more like a regional approach. Is there something you want to say about that? The idea of maybe pursuing that kind of regional approach amongst the African impact hubs? Santu, want to share?
Yeah. Okay, I also see that there's another question there in the chat. Yeah, just briefly. So I think that there's definitely a potential, and this is really an invitation to all the countries that are participating in an Accelerate 2030 in the African region to pull together and see how you can strengthen the program in with a regional approach, and particularly what are the different skills, capacities, investor networks in the region that you can connect your entrepreneurs with. I think this is key. and also regional opportunities in terms of market access, in terms of what I was talking about earlier, soft landing opportunities. So definitely there's a lot. It's a very rich region, and there's definitely a lot to be done. So I think that's for us with the program. We have grown really quickly to these 20-30 countries, but for grow the regional approach and how the different what Accelerate 2030 Africa really looks like, and strengthening these bonds between, and particularly this is an invitation to the regional investor networks to be connected to the entrepreneurs through the program. So yeah, definitely, and I'm happy to, with anyone who's interested, to discuss this approach more, to have this conversation on how we can leverage other countries that are being part of the program as well. Also now, of course, with COVID, we're like the positives is all the opportunities with being connected virtually and online. And even before that, a lot of the things that we were running was already online, and we have developed a whole, what we call a virtual learning community. So we have a whole virtual learning space of our trainings, our modules, etc., are being found on a virtual space with our partner International Trade Center. And so yeah, there's a lot that can be done, even if physical, even if we're not maybe yet able to meet physically. So definitely a lot there to be explored.
Thank you, Santo. Peter, you said Santo said there was another question. Could you read that, maybe the second last question?
All right, okay, so there's actually two. So this one is from Grandson Shipangula. Says, our organization, the Youth Employment Creation Initiative, has a community of youth and women social entrepreneurs who would be happy to benefit from your programs. What is your procedure for partnering with a community like ours seeking to benefit from your program beyond your program timeline?
I guess it was addressed to Julius, or is it addressed to Santo? I'm not quite sure, Peter, or both.
I'm assuming they're based in Zambia, no?
Yeah, they should be based in Zambia.
Yeah, I can just say, like, just briefly, so like women entrepreneurship is one of the key focuses of the program. So we are really motivating and encouraging all Accelerate 2030 local programs to be partnering with Women Entrepreneurs Network, so that we can bring more women on board. We have a whole strategy on how we can make sure that we are getting more women to women entrepreneurs to be supported and get the resources, because we've created a whole guideline and handbook on how to integrate gender into acceleration processes. Explore what are the opportunities and to partner, if not in this edition of the program, in the next edition. And I'm sure that there are things that impact Hub Lusaka as well, where it can be really interesting. But this is really a key focus for us to reach enough women within the program. And it is unfortunately a challenge, what we've seen, and therefore we are actually working very proactively on making sure to partner up with women's networks and others, because it's not something, if the work is not done from the accelerated incubator sites, it's unfortunately there's still a mismatch and still not enough women entrepreneurs out there, and the support needs to be tailored also to particularly encourage future women entrepreneurs.
Julius, you want to add a few words to that as well?
Yes, maybe what I can say, looking at the name, it looks this person is in Zambia. So I've sent you my email, just reach out, and then maybe we can have a conversation, or you can come to Impact Hub Lusaka, and then we can talk and see what could come out of our discussion, since you are talking of exploring a conversation beyond Accelerate 2030. Yeah, so let's talk. I've given you, just contact me and then we can have a conversation.
Okay, maybe just one last question, also to get Richard on board. Zambia and Congo DRC are neighboring countries, but as we could hear from your presentation, in Zambia they speak English, and in Congo they speak French as the national language. How do you plan to address the language barrier in your collaboration also with the entrepreneurs? Maybe you can say a few words about that in order not to scare away some potential future participants.
I think, well, talking Swahili, both. Zambia and the Congo, DRC, both have common languages, Swahili. Oh, just how should it's possible to talk to make change in Swahili? No.
No, it will be hard for them to understand. Though I'm not sure how advanced Zoom is. I don't know if Zoom does subtitles or anything. I'm not sure. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not sure if that is a possibility. But what we could do is if we can find a translator of some, yeah, we can have someone who can be translating the sessions, because all the sessions will happen virtually and they will be recorded. So we can have all the sessions recorded, and then the team in Congo can be questions, and then we answer, or a follow-up session where we do question and answer. We can then be the three of us, the team in Congo, the interpreter, also the translator, and ourselves in Zambia, so that we have a three-group conversation to do the follow-up of the questions. And yeah, that's something which I feel it's a possibility. I don't know if that's something you are open to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that since Kinshasa Innovation Center is affiliated with the Technical University in Geneva and in Kinshasa, that there must be some young, bright entrepreneurs and innovators that can find a solution to this language problem.
Yeah, Christian, maybe just the last question.
Okay,
so
last
there happens
question.
to be, there happens to be a question from Kangwa. All right, so I'll go straight into it. Thank you for all your presentations. I'm from the food industry. I hope to be part of the Accelerate 2030. I put in an application, okay? I hardly see restaurants receiving any form of capacity development from organizations. And I'm one of those hoping to change this perception for startups in the food business, not just agriculture. Then their actual question reads, is there a limit to the kinds of business to select from?
No, there isn't. There isn't a limit. Restaurant, that's food. Already we're talking of that's SDG number 2, which is hunger. Though a restaurant is not there to address hunger, but seeing one of the SDGs. So all initiatives that are around the food system do qualify to participate in in Accelerate 2030.
I can maybe give an example. So we are looking for ventures that have like new innovations and new models, specifically to have that in their core model on the SDGs in their core model on how you can in this case for example decrease sorry, not, but like, yeah, poverty, or get access to impact at scale when it comes to the issue of access to food and nutrition. So for example, like a community-based restaurant model where they brought in also like country, and they were also introducing, it was very interesting, introducing new type of nutritional models such as like insects and other food and increase nutrition to some of the poorest in the country. So it's open for sale, but we are looking for like specific innovations to have an impact on the SDGs, and how this could be really scaled. So like read my invitation is to look into the SDGs, what some of the key targets are, and really see like, hey, where do you see yourself having an impact, and where could you see yourself having program to see this is our bigger vision, this is how we can change the food system in Zambia, this is how we can solve some of the big challenges of food security in the country. So yeah, we're looking for entrepreneurs that have that vision beyond their own business as well, to have an impact on that specific SDG in the country, but open for everyone, of course.
Okay, with these words, we'll conclude the core part of the program. And I thank Richard, Santo, and Julius for your great insights. And we wishing you lots of success with this 4th edition of the Global and National Accelerator 2030 program. I allow my 2 colleagues, Peter and Simone, just to conclude in the next couple of minutes, and then we wrap up. So Peter, over to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Christian. I think I'll go straight into it, looking at the fact that we're going into another hour now. Yeah, so let me just be at it. So impact investing is uniquely distinguished from the conventional way of going about investing due to its 3 core characteristics. Of course, one of them being the ability to measure the impact created by a particular investment. Now, most businesses, however, fail to attract impact investments, not because their product lacks a positive impact on society, but simply because they lack a guiding tool to enable them tell their impact story. Now, seeing this gap, 5P Group has actually developed an ESG toolkit that helps businesses transition from ordinary to impact enterprises. Now, the ESG toolkit comprises of 7 steps that will guide this journey of transitioning into an impact enterprise. So I'll just briefly go over these 7 steps so that maybe you can have an idea of what our ESG toolkit for impact enterprises is all about. So the first step is the exploration stage. So here we get to introduce a business or an enterprise to the concept of impact investing. So here a business gets to learn about impact investing, what it is, and of course, get to identify some of the opportunities that exist within the impact related field related to their business. And then the second stage is the reflection stage. So we get to help a business identify motivations as well as objectives regarding environmental and social outcomes as far as impact is concerned. And then the third stage within our ESG toolkit for impact enterprises is deepening, where we get to help a business develop an immediate actionable impact fundraising strategy, which I think is more important, very important for not just Zambian enterprises, but as well as enterprises within Congo. Now, the fourth stage within our ESG toolkit framework is the strategizing stage, where we get to revise the fundraising strategy in order to improve the environmental as well as the social outcome. And then the fifth stage is becoming investment ready, which of course will get to offer a lot of support to the graduates of the Accelerate2030 program as we get to go on regarding becoming investment ready. And then the sixth stage is impact measurement, which is very important if a business is going to be able to tell its impact story and of course attract a huge number of impact investors to come on board. So here we get to find and use industry standards for impact measurement. So here we're talking about IRIS Plus, including the impact measurement framework, IFM. And then the last stage, which is the 7th stage, we get to optimize these. So we work around all these 6 states and get to see which one works best. They can become investment ready, as well as be able to tell their impact story. So I just want to let you know that the ESG Toolkit framework will be offered to the participants of the 2030 Accelerate program. And of course, we are in the new series Impact Investor Circle series that begins this fall, which is in September. We'll focus on capital raising as well as online pitching sessions for graduates of the Accelerate 2030 program. So let me not take so much of your time. This has been Peter, Business Development Associate at YP Group, Lusaka office. Have a pleasant evening. Over to you, Simone.
Thank you, Peter. Over to you, Simone, for the last remarks.
Okay, hope you can see me.
Go ahead, Simone. Yeah, we can see you.
So, yeah, I want to start by thanking you all for your presentations, all the speakers and everyone who attended this event. I want to thank you everyone who attended our meetings that started our Impact Investing Circle that started in late November. And now we are concluding the first series. Then season 2 will start from September next year. And we are happy to have managed to involve such interesting and important people. And we delved into very interesting topics. And we even managed to draw almost 50 people at once in February. Now the numbers are pretty stable, but starting from the bottom, this is a pretty good result. Then, as I was saying, the second season will be renewed in September, where we will start by reaching out to the National Advisory Board for Impact Investing in the other African countries, because we mainly focused on Zambia, but now we will focus on South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, and Nigeria, most of all. And then I wish all the enterprises successful participation in the Accelerate2030 program. And yeah, that's it. I want to thank you again for your attendance and hope that we will see again in September.
Thank you very much, Simone, and good evening, everyone, and see you around coming months.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.